Tammie knew exactly where she wanted to take him. The olive gardens that started just beyond her house were cool and shady, and except at harvest you would rarely see anyone there. They strolled along very happily and chatted as if they'd known each other for ages. Tammie was doing most of the talking, it has to be said, but Jesus didn't seem annoyed by this. She wanted to know a bit more about him, so she asked if he were living in Capernaum permanently. "No," he said. "I travel around Galilee and sometimes further, but I often come back here, so you'll see me quite a bit." "Ah, I understand," said Tammie very wisely. "You're one of those wandering preachers." Itinerants, yes. I suppose you could call me that. I don't think that's the word your father's friends use. "Don't they like you?" "No." He didn't seem too upset, he just stated it as a fact. "I like you," said Tammie. "Good," he said. "I like you too, so that's settled." "Will you call me Tammie then? All my friends do." Her father had introduced her as Tammie. Jesus laughed. "You don't like your name?" "Yuck," was Tammie's definite opinion. "Mind you," she added, brightening, "there are a couple of Tamars in the holy writings." "That's true," he said. "One was my ancestor." In the temple at Jerusalem, there were family trees for everyone, going right the way back. It gave reading the scrolls an extra zing if you kept an eye out to see if one of your relatives would pop up. "She hated her name when she was your age too," Jesus added. It didn't occur to Tammie till years later to wonder how he knew that, and by the time it did, she felt she knew the answer anyway. But just now, she was too bothered about her name. "It's so lame," she complained. "It means palm tree. So many names have such lovely meanings, and I get stuck with palm tree." "The palm is a sign of victory," said Jesus. "And palm trees are tall and graceful. The name Tamar, given to a woman in the old days, meant that she was very beautiful." "Really?" said Tammie in surprise. "But I'm not beautiful." "You'll grow out of that," said Jesus, teasing her. "I don't think I even want to be beautiful," she said after some consideration. "You'll probably grow out of that too." "My other names are even worse. Bilkia and Keren Hapuk. I don't know what they mean, but it's probably something ghastly." "Keren Hapuk is splendour of bright colours, another indication of beauty. And Bilkia means revival, coming back to life. After today, I don't think you could have a better name." Tamar Bilkia Keren Hapuk listened to this wide-eyed and began to wonder if perhaps her names were pretty good after all. "Yours is short for Yehoshua, right? What does that stand for?" "The salvation of the Lord," said Jesus. "That's nice," said Tammie. It was so lovely to be out walking in the warm breezes and the fresh smells of trees and flowers. Tammie breathed in deeply and thought how beautiful it all was. "I love gardens, just being in them or messing about planting things and watching them grow, making something amazing from dirt and nothing. Do you like doing that?" "Very much," said Jesus. "I had a beautiful garden." "This is just like it was in the beginning," said Tammie. "Us walking here in the olive grove. Adam and Eve used to walk with God like this in the Garden of Eden, in the cool of the evening." "Yes, I know," said Jesus. "I mean," she continued, getting heated at the thought, "that's why he created us. That was literally the whole point, to be with him. It's what we were made for." She stabbed the air on every sentence, looking very fierce. Then everything went wrong and humanity kind got all messed up because they did exactly what God had warned would kill them. So death and evil and sin and all kinds of bad got invited in and landed splat on all of us. And now we can't walk with God or be close to him because he's too pure and glorious. Did you know that in the temple at Jerusalem, where the presence of God lives, there's a sort of curtain thing to separate even the priests from God? My father told me. Right, said Jesus. It separates the holy place from the most holy place. Even the priests have to be protected from the sight of God, said Tammie, shaking her head sadly. I so much want to get close to him, don't you? But there always has to be a barrier. That veil curtain thing is precious. It's very old and it's supposed to be really beautiful. But it's there to keep us from God. This is probably a terrible thing to say, but sometimes I want to march straight in there and rip that curtain in half. Me too, said Jesus.